Why haven't we contacted aliens or been in touch with them? Why haven't we observed any signs of their presence?
Yeah, they're trying to hide it from us, Alex.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, it's a big cover-up. But the Fermi Paradox is this apparent contradiction between the high probability of the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations in the universe and the lack of contact with such civilizations, whether it be radio signals or any other form of communication, even just spotting them in the sky, like looking out for Dyson spheres or whatever, which scientists are on the lookout for now, but we've yet to discover any. So it's named after a physicist called Enrico Fermi, and the paradox arises from the vast number of potentially habitable planets in the observable universe, and does an actual formula for working this out. Drake's equation basically highlights that there are many thousands of habitable planets across the galaxy. There are speculative explanations to reconcile this apparent contradiction, and if you're familiar with any of these explanations, some of them can get a little bit existential and a little bit horrifying when you think too deeply about it. The one that freaks me out the most is the dark forest theory. And this was a term that was coined in 2008 by a science fiction author called Liu Cixin. In his novel, the dark forest hypothesis is introduced by the character Ye Wenjie while visiting her daughter's grave. She introduces 3 key axioms to a new field that she describes as cosmic sociology. Logical steps that we have to imagine if we were thinking about other civilizations. Number 1. Suppose a vast number of civilizations distributed throughout the universe on the order of the number of observable stars. These civilizations make up the body of a cosmic society. Number 2. Suppose that the primary need of any civilization is survival. So civilizations are going to try and survive at all cost. That is their, primary motive. Number 3. Suppose that civilizations continually expand over time, but the total matter in the universe remains constant. The only logical conclusion to these 3 things, with the acceptance of these, is that any intelligent life in the universe will be pitted against all other life in the struggle for survival. And there's a summary as well of this that explains it a little better that I want to read from a novel called The Killing Star by Charles Pellegrino and George Zebrowski. The Great Silence, i.e. absence of SETI signals from alien civilizations, is perhaps the strongest indicator of all that high relativistic velocities are attainable and that everybody out there knows it. The sobering truth is that relativistic civilizations are a potential nightmare to anyone living within range of them. The problem is that objects traveling at an appreciable fraction of light speed are never where you see them when you see them. Relativistic rockets, if their owners turn out to be less than benevolent, are both totally unstoppable and totally destructive. A starship weighing in at around 1,500 tons, approximately the weight of a space shuttle when it's fully fueled, impacting an Earth-like planet at only 30% of light speed, will release 1.5 million megatons of energy, an explosive force equivalent to 150 times today's global nuclear arsenal. So, the game plan is, in its simplest terms, the relativistic inverse to the golden rule. Do unto the other fellow as he would do unto you, and do it first.
Remember, Igor, do unto others
before they do unto me.
So, the rules don't apply to other species, basically, of how we should treat each other. Both humans and wolves lack inhibitions against killing chickens. If we find another civilization, then the safest thing to do would be to shoot at them before they shoot at us and kill us first. So here's a thought experiment. Imagine yourself taking a stroll through Manhattan, somewhere north of 68th Street, deep inside Central Park, late at night. It would be nice to meet someone friendly, but you know that the park is dangerous at night. That's when the monsters come out. There's always a strong undercurrent of drug dealings, muggings, and occasional homicides. It's not easy to distinguish the good guys from the bad guys. They dress alike and their weapons are concealed. The only difference is intent, and you can't read minds. Stay in the dark long enough and you may hear an occasional distant shriek or blunder across a body. How do you survive the night? The last thing you want to do is shout, "I'm here." The next to last thing you want to do is reply to someone who shouts, "I'm a friend." What you would like to do is find a policeman or get out of the park, but you don't want to make a noise or move towards a light where you might be spotted, and it's difficult to find either a policeman or your way out without making yourself known. The safest option then is to hunker down and wait for daylight, then safely walk out. There are, of course, a few obvious differences between Central Park and the rest of the universe. There is no policeman, there is no way out, and the night never ends. There could be other civilizations out there, but they're all hunkering down and not trying to draw attention to each other. And there's the logical notion of, if all civilizations are just trying to survive, then they know that if they find another civilization, they will make the same logical conclusion, and any kind of contact with another civilization, chances are going to lead to one of them shooting first and destroying the other one. It's kind of like the film The Dark Knight, if anyone's seen that. It's kind of like the prisoners on the boats, the two boats, each with the power to blow the other one up, but they kind of have to do it first. But neither of them want to, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What I will say, Alex, is that the theory that I've got is very, very similar. It comes under a different kind of guise, but it's very similar so it makes sense for us to maybe combine these two together. So it's called the predatory alien theory. The idea being that there could be advanced civilizations out there competing for resources to be exploitive, and so they're going to be expansionist and aggressive, like you say. That's the reason why there's such silence, is because these predatory civilizations, these predatory aliens, are already wiping each other out. And so we just haven't come across one that's going to be an aggressor to our civilization yet. That's why in the observable universe we don't see lots of alien life forms, because when they get close to another, they are destroyed for the sake of competing for resources, like we do on Earth. Right? Is it a trait not only of humans but also of all species throughout the whole of the universe? Survival of the fittest and expansionism.
That's the reason why the universe is so quiet, is because it's basically suicide not to, unless you're a very talented murderer wandering around Central Park.
Yes.
There's another theory that I just kind of want to mention that is kind of so bleak. I don't want to believe it, but I kind of worry that it is true. And it's just like, it's not a fun one. It's not one to like, that's particularly fun. It's just that we are, without realizing it, just approaching the limits of technology. We've undergone the last like 150 years of extreme, unprecedented, like with the Industrial Revolution, technological growth. That's insane. And we keep assuming that that's going to increase. We keep assuming that there's going to be like, oh, we'll cross that hurdle. We'll figure out a solution to that. But what if we are actually just approaching the limits of what's possible?
And so we won't find it because no one could find it, because technology doesn't go any further than X point.
Yeah, we're never going to be in touch with them because there is no faster than light travel and communication. It's just not possible. The industrial fusion might just be not possible. Cryonics turns out to be impossible. We make a general AI and it tells us you can't do that. And then we're just left here. We're just left here on the planet with dwindling resources.
That is bleak. Let's not think about that.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that's not true.
I was going to say, yeah, there's always we're living in a simulation theory. We're not finding extraterrestrial life because it hasn't been programmed into the simulation yet.
I mean, that's actually another potential answer, is that alien civilizations just get enough technology to be able to simulate whatever they want, like perfectly. So there's no need to explore the universe because they can just simulate whatever they want.
Yeah.
Well, interesting discussion all around, and existential, but not too bleak, hopefully.
Scary rather than bleak. Terrifying, but not bleak necessarily. In the Fermi Paradox, it almost for me seems a little bit arrogant as well. It's like, we know it exists, but why haven't we found it yet? We should be able to, because these conditions exist.
Let us know what you think of the Fermi Paradox and some of these solutions in the comments below. But thank you everyone so much for watching all this way, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to smash that like button. And
that's what the kids say, don't they?
That's what the kids say.
Yeah.
Yep. But thank you everyone so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.